Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes the Week. You can support this channel through the PayPal and Subscribestar links below to keep me making this series of videos. Any and all donations are helpful. Before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Hawkin the Good. His channel is for MGTOW men looking for philosophy and purpose in today's soy society. The number one question guys ask me is how do I find meaning and purpose in life? And Hawkin has you covered with politics and current affairs, mixed in from a male perspective. Visit his YouTube channel and see for yourself. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number one, it looks like they need men after all in the military. The image on the left is a military recruitment ad from 2021, and the other one is from 2023. Why should men give their lives to defend America when Emma and her two moms have got this? Let them lie and die in their beds. Unfortunately, white American males have been so demoralized these days that this is pretty much how they feel. Pure apathy at this point. Up next, is this the real reason that women want to have sole custody or at the very least joint custody of their kids? Because they're a source of income. The family courts don't seem to care even if the kid wants to go with their dad. Remember that they need those cash transfer payments to keep going to the moms and getting taxed while doing so and eventually spent by the moms in the she economy. She's a strong independent woman sipping on child support, of course. Number three is what women actually think they'll do when society collapses versus what they'll actually do. Just ask the women in Venezuela and Weimar Germany that took off their clothes and sold their cooch for a couple of cookies. That's what women always do when times are hard. They trade BJs for Big Macs. You'll know it's really desperate when we start paying women so we can finally win arguments with them. Moving on, we all know that AI will take mostly jobs held by women first. Those include secretaries, payroll clerks, cashiers, and it's supposedly soy society's biased because of this. Supposedly we forced women into these sorts of jobs instead of just letting them pick whatever they want. Don't worry ladies, there's plenty of construction jobs waiting to be filled for you. Remember, when women lose income, women are most affected. But when men lose income, women are also most affected. Number five, men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. Of course we do. Who wants to ride the tatted uptown bicycle and pay for her student loans? Not me. So such women are not only for trad cucks. Unfortunately, there aren't enough of these sorts of women to go around these days. Most have dead a body count of 20 plus and have over half a dozen tattoos these days. Makes you wonder if they got into debt to buy tattoos so they can get pump and dumped by as many biker chads as possible. Up next is a woman that intentionally went from being 125 pounds all the way up to 547 pounds. She survived 4 heart attacks now being her true self. She says she never would have been able to accomplish that feat as her old sad self. Of course, she's traded depression for the slow suicide of eating yourself into oblivion. Every day that goes by, I think that fat acceptance is a depopulation agenda for stupid people that lack impulse control and discipline. Number 7 asks the question, a room is completely engulfed in flames, and you can only save one of these 4 people in it. The room is definitely flaming all right. Most of you in the comments section say that you would be saving a certain Austrian painter. I would just walk away. But in reality, how could I possibly save any of them when I have a gas can in one hand and a torch in the other? You know, because my car ran out of gas and I'm walking down the road to get back to it. Number 8 are the only 3 things that could actually get cold in the winter. Polar bears, penguins, and whores. Maybe these aren't women and just the trans version of that guy that you went to high school with, who always wore shorts, even in the winter. But if these are biological women, or men for that matter, it's actually chlamydia that's keeping them warm. Moving on, we have Greta deleting a 2018 tweet claiming that climate change would wipe out all of humanity by 2023. Well, what do you expect? A woman to take accountability for a mistake. Oopsie, I just scared everyone that the end of the world was coming so you could hand over your carbon taxes to my government handlers. How dare you, Greta? You need to go into another industry where your talents are just getting hotter. Number 10, we have Oscar the Grouch giving Miss Swift a back massage with his swing swing. But it's being blocked out for their privacy. Isn't AI amazing? Just imagine what it's going to be like one day when this is rendered in full video. It'll mean that OnlyFans models will finally get cancelled. I think that Taylor Swift is such a good actress that she's literally getting an Oscar here. I also classify this as the dog or animal pill. Sometimes I wish we could stick to our own species. Up next is the difference between men back in the day versus men today. What went wrong? I think it was soy in public schools and the toxins in the water making the frogs and males gay. We're basically at the stage in evolution, or de-evolution, where men are walking backwards because something has gone horribly wrong. I say quickly pass the bearded lady and get to the good stuff after her. I mean him. As for what really happened, I'm also pretty sure it was single mothers. Moving on is somewhat of a public service announcement. These two women are often seen at truck stops, parking spots, offering you their working girl services. While your swing is slithering with the blonde, the brunette ends up stealing your money and valuables back in your truck. One trucker couldn't resist the blonde, so the brunette robbed him 7 times. He still hasn't figured out that he could be with both of them at the same time. Number 13 is a visual depiction between the difference of a man flirting and a man harassing. I'm sure one tactical soap and shower, and the guy on the right will be a regular Casanova. Yeah, right. There are only 2 rules to dating according to the black pillars these days. Number 1, be attractive, and number 2, don't be unattractive. There are no other rules. The guy on the right also looks like he has a wee bit of hypertension. Up next, it looks like Will Simp is not only Jada's little bitch, but she's actually Xerxes in disguise. She's definitely the intelligent one in the relationship and ended up pulling all the strings. He's been embarrassed so many times, and he loves her so much that leaving her never came into his mind. That's really why she was smiling at the Oscars, because of the level of control she has over him. Number 15 is this a woman that got what she deserved. Her husband had changed the locks after she cheated on him, and she was left sickened and furious pounding on the door. It's not as if her husband was sickened and furious first, was it? Now she's writing a 600-word article to reclaim her status as the victim, after she was the one that cheated on him first. Not to mention all the attention she's going to get from the readers of the Daily Mail. Will Smith should be taking notes here. Moving on, the apathy is real for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No one cares anymore after the Marvels. It's now better known as the MCU, and it's over. And now women are going to blame men and say we intentionally stopped watching the content because of all the female characters. They won't realize that we don't care about sex or gender of the characters, but instead the writing, which is the most important thing for us. Number 17, women will claim that we're misogynists. They won't actually want to watch heroes with memories. If you want to watch or read a story with as few female characters as possible, then The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings is a pretty good choice. This is probably how Tolkien slept after not having to write female characters that nagged the male ones in his books. Up next is Elliot Page. The name Alan would have been a much better transition from Ellen. Ellen was so hot, and Elliot here doesn't even seem very happy at all. Everyone is wondering what the hell happened and why the transition happened in the first place. Well, apparently Paige was groomed and abused by a bunch of people as a teenager working in Hollywood. I guess that the other ex-people didn't want to protect her back then, so she ended up becoming her own white knight. Number 19, the LGBT community doesn't realize that they're the useful idiots used to destabilize society, to bring about the great cultural communist revolution. If the commies win, then they'll get rid of the revolutionary scissor sisters and fudge packers, because that's when they'll need people to work, and those probably won't. Read up on your history to know what happened after the October Revolution. Moving on is Julie, a single mother that demands you spend over $300 to $400 on her just to go on a date with her. The only thing she forgot was to tell you the name of her cat and the brand of box wine that she drinks. It's definitely going to be a lonely life for her in the future. But remember, if you're super attractive, you won't have to pay any money to her, and she'll probably pay for everything instead, and you'll get free sex. Number 21 are a bunch of women that aren't happy at billionaires. Clearly all men in the picture, and they hate them and say eat the rich. But the same women will go to a Taylor Swift concert and pay for her overpriced tickets happily. Those are the same type of women that celebrate Oprah's status as a billionaire. It's all female-owned group preference. Up next, this is usually women's major in college. Riding the man mushrooms, of course. You can't spell degree without the D. For accuracy, the largest one should be the black one in the middle. Women are so fascinated by schlongs that they make toys out of them, as well as stuffed animals and vibrating ones. If we men were just as obsessed as women are about us, wouldn't we have as many stuffed animals with big boobs as possible? I rest my case. Number 23, remember that if you're one of the lucky 10 or 20% of men out there that even has the opportunity to go on a date these days, then a third of the time, women only date men because they get free food. The headline should read, "A third of women lie to you before you even meet them." One woman in the comment section on Twitter says that she knows girls in her friend circle that literally name men in their contacts as free food. Moving on, we have the feminized men that are calling everyone else incels. In fact, they are incels, and they're using female strategies to accuse others of the very same thing they're guilty of to save face. In this case, to save their soy face. Men shouldn't open their mouths this wide and show their teeth while smiling. It's one of the most feminine things imaginable. Number 25 and the last one is a single mother that has a tattoo of the word "come" spelled out on her face, and a bunch of little hearts above it. She has 2 kids aged 10 and 12. I'd love to see what she tells her kids when they ask her why the word "come" is tattooed to her face. The only other word that's missing on her face now is dumpster. When a single mother invites you to be part of her life, this is what you're getting yourself into. So that's it for another Memes a Week. Give this video a push in the algorithm by giving it a like, and so that other viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to expand on it to more than 2 or 3 days a week, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribestar links below, and I'll occasionally make more videos each week. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.